Short rows are partially worked rows of knitting that are used to shape whatever you're working on. There are many different ways of working short rows. I'm going to show you one of the most common, which is called the wrap and turn method. I'm going to show you how to work it on the knit side of the fabric, and then I'm going to show you how to work it on the purl side of the fabric. So I've already worked a couple rows in stockinette, and all I'm going to do now is knit across the row to the last few stitches. All right, so I've knit across the row. I'm now at the point in my pattern where I need to turn and knit back. So to do that, I'm going to slip my next stitch purlwise. I'm going to bring my yarn to the front, going to slip that yarn back to my left-hand needle, and then I'm going to bring my yarn between the needles to the back again. So when I've turned my work, you see that what I've really done is put a wrap of yarn around this stitch. Going to bring my yarn to the back. Going to bring my yarn to the front, and then I'm just going to purl back along the row. All right, I've purled back, and you can see where I worked that partial row, it does create a little gap here. We're going to go and close those up when we have worked all of our short rows. So I'm going to work another one now, and again, I'm just going to knit along this row. All right, I need to work another wrap. So again, going to move that stitch purlwise to the right-hand needle, yarn to the front, pop that back onto the left-hand needle, bring your yarn back between the needles, and you have wrapped that stitch. All right, I have worked several short rows, and you can see that it does create that nice slant there. But we have these gaps that we need to close up. So on the first full row that you work after working your short rows, you're just going to knit across until you come to that wrap stitch. And again, they do stand out quite a bit. So you can see right there, there's your wrap, there's that big gap there. So what you want to do is take your right-hand needle, insert it into that wrapped loop there, insert it into the stitch on your needle, and then you're just going to knit those two together. And because this is gappy, I like to give this a good hard tug just to tighten things up. Now we're going to knit to the next wrap stitch. There it is. Right-hand needle through the wrap, through the stitch on your left-hand needle, knit those two together, try and tighten them up. So this is what it looks like after it's blocked. And you can see it's a fairly invisible method. Now, I've worked this on stockinette, and I have only shown you how to work them on the right side, on the knit side. I'm going to show you how to work them on the purl side now. All right, so this is how you're going to work short rows when you're working them on the purl side of your fabric. So again, you just want to purl across the row to your turning point. Okay, we're at the turning point. Now your yarn is already going to be to the front of your work. You are going to slip the first stitch on your left-hand needle to the right-hand needle purlwise. Then you're going to bring your yarn to the back, slip that stitch back onto the left-hand needle. There's that wrap, there's that gap, and your yarn is already at the back, so you just knit to the end of your row. Let me show you one more time. And again, you've got your yarn to the front, slip that next stitch purlwise onto your right-hand needle, yarn to the back, slip that stitch back onto your left-hand needle, there's your wrap, turn your work, there's the wrap stitch, and just go ahead and knit back. All right, now let's say you have worked all of the short rows in your pattern. You need to work back, and you need to pick up those wraps and close that little gap in there. So to do that, you're going to purl back. And again, you will know when you come to that wrap stitch, because you will have that funky little gap there. All right, there's the stitch. There's your wrap. Take your right hand needle. You're going to insert it into that wrap. Put it on your left hand needle. Then you are going to make sure your yarn is at the front. Insert your right hand needle into both stitches and purl those together. And again, give that a good tug to help close up that gap. Let's do that one more time. You're going to purl. There's the gap. There is your wrap. You want to go into that wrap from the back. Put that on your left-hand needle. Make sure your yarn is to the front and purl those two together. Continue purling back along the row. All right, so here is your finished short row piece. You can see it has that nice diagonal. Stitches are really invisible here. This is a great method to use for shaping garments. And that is the Wrap and Turn short row. Thanks for watching.